everybody, welcome back for another episode on the Darwin's Room channel. Thank you guys so much for joining me. I really appreciate your support as always. Today we're going to be talking about the newest John Wick spinoff, Ballerina. This stars Ana de Armas in this action-packed adventure when she is put on a mission and comes across some clues that lead her to some disturbing things about her past that she wants to figure out, and then puts her on a vengeful path. Without spoiling anything, that's essentially the plot of the film. It's pretty straightforward, nothing too crazy, it's pretty simple. Just like the other John Wick films, the reason that you watch these movies are for the action, not just action for action, but the inventive action and the really creative sequences that they are able to kind of stitch together. And that they do. This is an excellent addition to the John Wick universe, the John Wick franchise, and it follows this new character, Eve Marakova or something like that. I forget the last name of the character, but Eve is the main name of her character, and she is so cool, you know, and she's played phenomenally well by Ana de Armas. She is incredible. I really loved Ana de Armas in this movie. I've always enjoyed seeing her in movies, and it was exciting to see her be given this humongous action role. And I bought it. You know, I really bought her as this like ballerina assassin that's like both heartfelt and compassionate, but ruthless. You know, just like John Wick. You know, you have a very similar character in the sense that they are a very caring individual and they try to give people chances, but they're kind of pushed to the brink, and that's when they become the deadly assassin that they are. And she played it so well. I found her very believable. She kind of like just fully delves into the role. And with this role, I felt like there's so much physicality that I mean, I'm sure they had stunt workers helping her out and this and that, but it looked like she did a fair amount herself as well. So that was really exciting. And I know that she went through a lot of like gun training during, you know, the behind the scenes of the film and kind of like pre-production. And so this was really exciting to watch from beginning to end. It is literally nonstop action. The story is very much carried through the action. You know, you get a little bit of story, a little bit of narrative, action sequence that leads them to the next, you know, narrative sequence, which each narrative sequence, they're very intriguing and engaging. And so it doesn't slow the pacing. It's all very fluid. It's all very smooth, and it's very fast paced. So I was fully engaged the entire time. There's not a single slow moment in this film. It is fast paced. And that's really impressive because I think it clocks in at 2 hours, 5 minutes. And they do a great job with that runtime. They you know, again, they don't overstay their welcome. They use every single minute to their advantage. And so really, as soon as the movie starts, you're in for the ride. You know, it's a thrill ride. But it's so fun. There is so much inventive action in this movie. I loved a particular sequence with flamethrowers where it's like they're taking turns shooting at each other with a flamethrower. It was wild. It was absolutely wild, and it was so much fun. And they find different ways to use different objects and to make it part of the action sequence. It is such a good time. I had so much fun with this movie. Ana de Armas, like I said, she is amazing. I love her. She's great to see in action and in movies. And I'm excited for the hope that this gets a sequel and that we get to see more of her because I think she was fantastic. It was really great to see Lance Reddick again. May he rest in peace. You know, he shot this movie before he had passed away, of course. And it's a brief sequence. You know, he's not in the movie much, but it was nice to see him nonetheless. Ian McShane, he's great as well. You know, I've always really liked his character. And he has some like intriguing dynamics, you know, because he's a good guy, but like it almost feels like he jumps sides from time to time, but you understand why given his position with the Continental. So I've always found that really fascinating in a way. And then we do get, some cameo appearances from Keanu Reeves as John Wick. This film, Ballerina, it takes place parallel to Chapter 3, Parabellum, John Wick Chapter 3. And, of course, on one hand, it is definitely for fan service, and to boost ticket sale prices. But on the other hand, they do make his appearance meaningful, and he does add to the story, and he does play an active role in the plot. So I really appreciated that it wasn't just fan service, or maybe it was, but they did it in a meaningful way. So I think they accomplished it, effectively. It didn't feel forced. It felt very natural. So I really appreciated that. And with the sequences that he's in, it's Keanu Reeves. He's great. We love Keanu Reeves. He's come a long way as an actor. I know that back then he started off a little rocky, and then he got better. He was in more movies, and he started figuring out, I guess, what works for him and what doesn't. And Keanu Reeves, he's amazing. I love Keanu Reeves, as an actor, and it seems like as a person that he's just a really great person. So this was a really fun film. In terms of issues that I had with it, it does feel convenient. Like the storytelling, as I mentioned, it's very much told through the action. You have a quick narrative, it takes you to another action sequence, narrative, action sequence, narrative, action sequence. And those narrative moments, not all of them, but some of them feel very convenient. There's a particular one, without spoiling any plot points, there's a particular one when Ana de Armas, her character Eve, is buying some guns, and an ambush just so happens to occur, which leads her essentially to the final stage of the movie, to the third act of the film. And it felt very convenient. I think it would have been better if they found a way to make it more investigative, where she had to investigate to figure out where this group of people were. And I think that would have been a lot better. But it was very convenient. She kind of just stumbles upon this group, or at least that's what it felt like to me. I could have missed something, but for me, it felt very convenient in the story. And I feel like there was one plot hole with a particular character that you think one thing happens to them, and then you see them later at the end of the movie, and it turns out it did not. And that's without spoiling anything, so that it's, kind of inconspicuous. But I think they could have better explained what happened in between those 2 points of the film. So that's one little plot hole that I noticed. And again, there's some conveniences in the plot. But other than that, I have no other issues with this movie. I had so much fun with this movie. This is a fantastic addition to the John Wick franchise, to this world. They do a great job building on this world, and I'm always really fascinated to see the different groups that are out there, in this fictional universe, these different assassin groups. And it's, it does start to beg the question, is anyone normal in this universe, or is everyone an assassin for someone? So it's funny, but it's really intriguing, and it's a cool universe, and it's a really fun idea, so I like how they've built upon it. It's really cool. It's really entertaining. And like I said, if you're looking for a good action movie, you just want to go have fun, this is a solid action film. It is so well done. The action sequences are incredible. Cinematically, this film looks beautiful, and it looks on par with the other John Wick films. The style of it, the color palette, you can tell they wanted to keep it very sequential. So it looks very much like the other John Wick films, and it looks stunning. There's some beautiful shots in here, some great overhead shots, and just the camera movements, how it moves with the action. It's fantastic. You really feel like you're a part of it. I do also recommend watching this in Dolby Cinema. I went to go see it in Dolby and it was amazing. Like, you could feel every gunshot, every punch, every slice. In particular, when they're shooting the flamethrowers at each other, like, you can like feel that, and it was like impactful. So I loved it. It really makes you feel like you're part of the action. So if you can, watch it on the biggest screen possible, whether that's Dolby or IMAX. I think it's just going to elevate your experience that much more. But that being said, you don't need a huge screen to enjoy this movie. I don't like it when people say like this movie should only be watched on the biggest screen possible. I think this movie is still effective, even when you buy it on Blu-ray. It'll still be just as effective because the action is just that well done. And the movie is just well made in general. But to appreciate it, to its full extent, please watch it on the biggest screen possible because it is a thrill ride. And you just feel that much more part of the action. So I really loved it. It's really well done. Trying to think, is there anything else I could say about this movie? No, it's just, this is a fun time. And Ana de Armas, she is amazing. And if you like her in other movies, you're going to like her here. If you don't like her in other movies, I think this movie might win you over because she's fantastic. Just plain and simple, she's great. So Ballerina, I am going to give it 4 out of 5 stars. This is fantastic. I had so much fun with this, and I really believe that you will too. If you like the John Wick movies, you are going to like this. I can't imagine you not liking this if you like the other John Wick films. And you get the added bonus of just further exploring this world that they've created in this universe and getting to know a new character, because I think, me personally, I think they should leave it at John Wick Chapter 4. I think that's a fantastic ending. It provides some nice closure, good conclusion. Granted, they're probably going to make more. They will find a way to change the ending and this and that. But I think that they should leave it, me personally, and just let's focus on a new character. Let's focus on Ballerina. Or if they're going to focus on other characters too, there was a lot of characters, particularly in Chapter 4, that I loved. Those supporting characters like the guy with the dog, and one of the samurais as well. I don't remember if one of them died or if they lived, because it's been a while since I watched the movie. But I would love to see some expansion on those characters because they were really thrilling and really intriguing. So I think let's be done with the John Wick part of the story. That was effective. Let's not overdo it. And let's focus on new characters and tell their story within the same universe. So I hope that's what they do, At the very least, I hope we get a Ballerina too. With the way the film ends, it gets you excited to see the possibilities of okay, how's this going to play out? And so I really hope that it gets greenlit for a sequel because this is fun. This was a fun movie and the direction is excellent. The stunt work is amazing. I really hope that they get a nomination for a stunt crew. I think that starts in next year's Oscars. I can't remember exactly, but I want to say, the Oscars, the Academy, they decided to add a category for stunt work. And I hope that starts next year so that this movie can get nominated for the show next year. But we'll see, So anyways, this is a fun time at the movies. Please go and watch this movie. You will like it. If you like action, if you like the intense sequences, I promise you're going to have fun with it. I've seen the Rotten Tomato score. It seems lower than it should be. This should very easily be at an 85% or higher, and it seems to be at a low 70%. Makes 0 sense. 0 sense. I get that there's conveniences in the plot, but it is still an effectively told story, and there's enough engaging elements in terms of heartfelt engaging elements through the main character and through Ana de Armas and her performance and the chemistry she has with other characters around her. There's enough there to really pull you in that I feel like some of those conveniences in the plot should be forgiven. And it seems like people are blowing it out of proportion and being way too harsh on it. This is a fun movie, you know, plain and simple. You know, I've said that a lot of times, but it really is. It's an exhilarating film. You know, you see the action and you feel like you're a part of it, and it's great. You know, and I did like also how Ana de Armas, she has to adapt with how she fights different characters. You know, like the bigger male characters, she has to adapt her approach to how she takes on that person. And it's very cool to see how they do it, and it feels very grounded and authentic. And it was very fun. Very, very fun. So I really appreciated the physicality of the film and the intentionality of how they wanted to really pursue this new character, and they did a great job. Really great job. So again, 4 out of 5 stars. Please go watch Ballerina. This is a great film, and we need to support movie theaters. You know, we need to support the theatrical experience, not just wait for it to hit streaming. We really need to support the theatrical experience so that we can get more movies like this and more movies like what I watched yesterday, Dangerous Animals. You know, we want big films that are effective, and we want original ideas as well. While Ballerina, of course, isn't original, you know, it's an IP, it's part of a franchise, but it's an effective one, you know? And I think both are equally important. You need the big franchises, and you need the original ideas as well. Because John Wick was, at the start, it was an original idea, you know? And it became this big franchise. So we need both. They're both important. So please, go watch this movie in theaters. Watch it in Dolby Cinema if you can, or IMAX if you can't do Dolby. Please, and let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. Did you guys watch Ballerina yet? If so, what were your thoughts on it? Did you like it? Did you not like it? I would be curious to hear your thoughts and continue the conversation down below in the comments. God bless you guys. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you have a great day, and stay tuned for more reviews coming soon. Take care.